There's specific acts in the hypothetical. No, there's not.
All right. Let's go to, oh my gosh, that's number 4, if you don't mind.
Good
The
evening.
4th one is January.
We are live
2013.
reporting on the
I see that.
cross-examination of
And
the
I believe
expert
it
gang
was, if I'm
witness,
not doing it right, just correct me.
Detective
Salute
Belknap.
to all my slimes, all my
We want to
bloods,
do an
all the
analysis
thugs. See
on
that?
his
I do.
And
testimony,
this goes out
and he's currently
across
being cross-examined by
anybody with Twitter.
attorney Brian Steele.
In 2013,
Please put a 1 in the
Right.
chat if you guys can hear the
I
testimony.
don't know that it goes out to everybody on Twitter, but I understand what you're asking. It's available on Twitter. Yes.
okay, so, and thank you. So it's available on Twitter, and then a person who follows Mr. Williams or follows somebody who follows Mr. Williams could be introduced to all this, right?
Yes.
And that's how you get fan base. You realize that?
It can be, certainly.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you for joining us. We are watching the live testimony of Detective Belknap under cross-examination by attorney Brian
Creating this
Steele.
brand that you got slimes and you got bloods and you got thugs and you're singing about that, then this is promotion also, right?
Objection, Your Honor, it's speculation.
It could be promotion. Do you believe that to be true? What is illegal about saying salute to all my slimes, all my bloods, and all the thugs? I didn't say and, all the thugs.
In and of itself, there's.
I put a 1 in the chat if you can hear the broadcast.
January 11, 2013, you see that one?
I do.
And I believe you talked about this one yesterday, because you didn't talk about all these tweets yesterday, but I believe you talked about this one. Am I correct?
Probably.
All right, and it says, all my bloods, hashtag twisted, we cross with the C is gone and a K is there, and N out, hashtag black. You see all that?
I do.
Okay. And are you aware?
We're going to
that
adjust the sound.
Hashtag before twisted is a way to get people to go to that place on Twitter.
Objection, Your Honor, that is speculation.
If you know.
I stand the objection.
Are you aware that putting a hashtag in front of a word on Twitter, what that does?
I am.
Tell the jurors.
Again, this may not be the best explanation.
Okay, how's the sound, everyone? How is the
In
sound?
front of a word makes that term searchable, and it helps aggregate the mentions of that word in different tweets.
Did you know yesterday when you were testifying that hashtag twisted, that is a song by someone named Sky Padmore. Were you aware of that?
I don't believe I knew who the artist was, no.
Okay, you knew it was a song though.
I can't remember if I knew if it was a song or not. I believe that I thought it was.
Do you know it's a song today?
I don't know any more than I did yesterday.
All right, well, if I'm wrong, you'll come back and tell us. Okay?
Sure.
And then the next line, we cross an N or A-N out. You see that?
I do.
Thank you, Jen.
Okay, and you're familiar that that is also a lyric from a song, right?
Yes.
And I don't believe you told the jurors that yesterday. Can you explain why not?
I don't believe I was asked, although this lyric also was part of another video that the jury viewed, so I think they were likely aware of that.
Okay, then we're going to go into the video as well, since you brought up, okay?
Sure.
But that line is a line out of the song Cross Out, right?
I believe the name of the song was Triple Cross. I think so.
It's fine. We'll show the jurors.
Okay.
And that is a line and a song by Ola Player, who you said is Mr. Micah Anderson, correct?
Yeah, and I think the song was Triple Cross King, although that may not be the official title of the song.
That's fine. And Bloody J, right?
Yes.
What's his real name again?
Which one?
Mr. Bloody J.
Justin Ushery.
Thank you, Mr. Ushery. And Young Scooter, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What is illegal, I shouldn't say wrong, about posting on Twitter, January 11, 2013, to all Jeffrey's followers and whomever, 2 other people to promote their music?
There's nothing illegal about that tweet.
All right, let's go to the one above it, if you don't mind. on State's Exhibit 50W. You see that January 30th, 2013?
I do.
And I'm not going to say it, but it says new SH blank T, true SH blank T, blood SH blank T, and two exclamation points, hyphen, young thug, hyphen, hyphen, bloody J, hyphen, I'm saying hyphen, it's times, bloody J, hyphen, against me productions, and then you go to Ferrari, smash, new February 13, and the YouTube link. You see all that?
I do.
Okay, and you already told the jurors, but Against Me is a song, right?
Yes,
Okay, and that promotes the song, right?
it does.
All right. The one above it is September 17, 2012. True Blood, Gonna Be a Fool. You see that?
I do.
Okay. And True Blood, you know that's the album or the mixtape, right?
Yes,
Okay, that's music, right?
it is.
Okay, and then the very top one is Happy B-Day at Birdman 5-star with I think it's 5 dots, love you blood, and then maybe 4 dots. Is that fair, what I'm saying?
That's as close as it needs to be, I think.
Okay, and that's February 16, 2014.
Yes, sir.
And that person, you already said, you believe, and you testified that that is a gentleman known as an artist and promoter and record label owner, Birdman, but name is Brian Williams. Is that true?
It is.
Okay. And it's a happy birthday, love you, blood.
It does.
All right. Now, let's stop for a moment and talk about the gentleman who just speak of, Mr. Brian Williams, okay?
Okay.
Can I ask you a question? I don't think you Your Honor, I am going to mark Mr. Williams, I think it's number 44.
You've already got 44 weeks.
45.
Well, the sound sounds good over here, and in our other studio, it sounds good as well. So you might want to turn your sound up. For those who are just joining, I'm typically in the courtroom, but today, since we're not showing this particular witness, he's already previously testified. However, because I'm not taking any photos of the
Yes.
witness on the stand, we're going to be remotely covering the testimony today.
Do me a favor, take a peek at it, look at it yourself, and tell me when you're ready whether you can identify what's in Mr. Williams' 45.
I can.
And is 45 something, the item depicted in 45, is that an accurate depiction of the way you have seen 45, if you have seen it in the past?
I don't remember if I've seen this specific photo in the past, so I couldn't say if it's accurate to something I've seen before.
Do you know who that person is?
I do.
And does that person look like the person who you believe that you know who it is?
Yes.
Okay. And have you seen that person in person or on the internet?
I've never seen him in person.
So we're talking about the internet?
We are.
Okay. And does 45, Mr. Williams 45, accurately depict the way you understand that person looks?
Yeah, it does.
All right, Your Honor, I move for the admission of Mr. Williams, number 45.
No objection.
All right, defendant Williams for 45 is admitted and may be published as you see.
Do you guys think Birdman will come to court to testify? That is the lingering question as being discussed in the media room. Make sure when you join, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Let's just unpack this testimony that is happening right now. Brian Birdman Williams is now being displayed.
I did not read it. Thank you.
Tim.
Okay, would you mind helping me out with the court's permission? Do you see what Mr. Kokomo has placed on the screen? Either in front of you, to your left, otherwise definitely behind you. And you have it in front of you as well. You see that?
I do.
Okay, and is that the gentleman who you identified as knowing as Mr. Brian Williams, performer known as, or business person known as Birdman?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to go through some of these pictures, or this part of the picture with you, okay?
Okay.
Do you notice, and can you point for the jurors? So you're going to have to, if you don't mind, help us out.
Okay.
Anything that you would say in your expertise, study, training, is gang related on that picture that you can show us?
So before I do anything, I'll preface it by saying that I don't know Mr. Williams, and so as a gang investigator, one thing that I recognize and that we've discussed here in my testimony is that many, if not most, gang identifiers can also be used in a context that's not gang related, including some things that may be in this photograph, for instance, a 5-point star, even a red 5-point star. So without having a background on Mr. Williams, I would hesitate to say that any of his tattoos are necessarily gang tattoos.
And
You don't want to get sued
I'm not
now.
saying that Mr. Brian Birdman Williams is in any way related to any type of gang. I'm just asking you, and you made that clear, and I appreciate that. I just want you to point out on his picture, Mr. Williams, number 45, anything that you believe may, I'm not saying they are, may be on somebody else, on me, be a gang identifier.
I would say objection around speculation based upon.
All right, point out on, for the jurors, how many 5 stars you see in that picture.
All right, so you're asking me to point out what now?
How many 5 stars you see?
You mean count them or point them out?
Both.
Okay.
Count them, point them out, same thing.
And then if there's any color to them, just show the jurors, tell the jurors the color you see.
Okay, so this appears, can't see the whole thing, but I assume that's a 5-point star and it's red. This also is a 5-point star, so that's 2, 3, 4. I believe there's one here. You kind of can't see it on the screen, but that's 5. And the picture that I'm holding is a little clearer than what's on the screen.
Their picture, and then orient the jurors on the screen. They'll have the picture.
So I believe this also is a 5-point star. There's one here. So I think we're up to 6. Believe there are 6.
Do you see anything else that would be potentially, I am not saying it is, potentially I think, you call it identifier of a gang?
Sir, just,
In Mr. Williams, number 45.
that's just not how I really do this type of investigation.
One more time.
That's just not really how I would do this type of investigation.
Well, let's talk about this. Do you see right in the cheek, on the right side of the cheek, by the glasses, do you see two letters back to back? One of them is reversed, an R and a G. I just point that out for ladies and gentlemen, jury, if you don't mind. And do you know, if you do know, what RG is or stands for?
I do.
Tell the jurors what it
It
is
stands for Rich Gang.
and tell them what that is.
No, there's a record label or imprint. Not sure what the technical term is.
Okay. And do you know who owns or, and if you don't, that's fine, that record label?
I don't know who the owner of the record label is now.
Okay. Who's involved with it, if you know?
I mean, there's probably many people involved in it.
Okay. Is Mr. Williams, Brian Birdman Williams involved?
Yes.
And do you know when they existed, that record label?
I couldn't tell you the dates. It was in this time period that we're talking about, 2011, 12, 13.
Okay. And was Mr., not to be confused with Brian Williams, but was Mr. Jeffrey Williams, to your knowledge, part of Rich Gang?
Yes, he was.
And I'd like to show you State's Exhibit 56W, if you don't mind. Thank you. And when you get a chance, can you blow up the picture? Do you see in front of you, that was 56W, and if not, it's at the bottom right.
I do.
Okay, you remember that?
I do.
Okay. And the gentleman on the right is Mr. Williams, fair to say?
Yes.
And the gentleman, I'm gonna take that back. The person on the left is Mr. Copeland. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. And they're both wearing what I would say is similar but inverted jerseys or sweatshirts. Is that a fair allegation, representation?
It is.
And one of them, Mr. Copeland, has a RG in red letters and white background, and underneath it, it looks like it's Rich Gang, but I don't see the I. You see that?
I do.
And then Mr. Williams has what appears to be, it's not fully there, but the RG in white saying Rich Gang, it looks like, but not all letters there, and then stars, 5 stars. You see that underneath it?
I do.
And the sweatshirt though itself is red background, right?
Yes.
Okay. And is that, if you know, at the time of this photograph, is that merchandise from Rich Gang?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And merchandise is where people in entertainment make some money. Not necessarily all of it, but they make some money off merchandise, right?
They do.
And other people make money more off merchandise, right? Other vendors.
Sure.
Okay. And what is illegal about wearing the Rich Gang attire?
There is nothing illegal about wearing the Rich Gang attire.
And what is illegal about wearing the Rich Gang attire along with a hand that you described, I'm going to use Mr. Williams' hand, left hand, as YSL. You see those letters?
Yes.
Okay. And would you do me a favor, just show the jurors how you get the YSL, just a Mr. Williams photo, if it helps you?
So this hand sign right here.
Yeah, but just do the Y first, please.
Here would be the Y.
Yes?
Then I believe the curling of the fingers is going to form the S.
Show me the S.
The curling of the fingers in.
I think my finger's
Okay.
stuck.
And what's the I?
I think my finger's
The
stuck.
L is right here.
Okay. What is illegal about wearing that Rich Gang sweatshirt and putting up that sign?
There's nothing illegal about that, that combination of things.
Okay. And then posting it, that's still lawful, right?
It is lawful to post that.
All right. Okay.
It's
Now,
called branding, ladies and gentlemen. It is
we don't
called
have any reason
branding.
to believe that Mr. Brian Birdman Williams, with all those 5-star, I think you had 6, whatever the number was, you're not saying that he is doing anything illegal, are you?
I don't believe there's anything illegal captured in this photograph.
Okay. Are you aware of the musical video lifestyle? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know of it, but I've not ever seen it.
Okay, do you know what lifestyle is?
Do I know what lifestyle is?
In relation to,
Okay, did this detective just say he didn't hear or look? He never seen the video lifestyle, but he's investigating YSL. You're not looking at
That I
that
couldn't tell
particular
you.
popular video.
Do you know if it had more than 6?
Can we believe that that is the
I don't know
case,
how many
ladies and
views it said.
gentlemen?
Okay, you can check that.
This
too.
is a detective. His job is to detect.
Sure.
Why
And
not
where would
watch
I be
one of
checking
his
with
most
the views on
popular
what?
videos? I'm just asking a
YouTube.
question.
Okay,
It's easy to do, right?
should be.
Okay. And were you aware that that was released approximately the time of Danny Glover in relationship?
I don't know when they were released in relation to each other.
All right. Do you know the song Stoner by Jeffrey Williams?
I do.
And is that song wildly popular?
To the extent that I know what we're defining as wildly popular, it was a very popular song.
Okay. And that was a song also went throughout the world, right?
I don't know its global reach, but it was a very popular song.
And that song came out about the same time as Danny Glover and Lifestyle and Stoner, if you know.
Yes, I do know, and that song did.
And by approximately, to put this in context, since we have Lifestyle and Rich Gang with a date, approximately, if it's true, and if you don't know, just say, I don't know. By 2012, 13, 14, Mr. Williams was very well known in the gangster rap industry. Is that fair to say? As a musician,
Speculation.
if you know.
I stand the objection.
Do you know that he was working multiple times he was playing live every week for years? Were you aware of that?
I don't know what his live schedule was over all this time period.
Did you ever look at his Twitter account to see the promotion of every single week for years where he is performing?
I did see much of his promotion on his Twitter account. I don't recall every single week where he was performing.
Now, ladies and
If I
gentlemen,
showed it to you, would you?
this is a little troubling right now that this guy is
Of course, I've seen the tweets of his
investigating
promotion, and I'm
the
not
YSL,
disputing that
but
he was
you've
promoting
never
his live performances.
looked at
Do
his
you agree that by 2012,
musical performances?
14, he is traveling all over the country and the world?
Objection,
15.
speculation.
If you know, do you know whether Mr. Williams by 2015 was traveling all over the country and the world?
Say no objection.
If you know, I asked if he knows.
I stand the objection.
Does the Twitter account show that he is performing all over the world by 2015?
I don't recall that specific time period where his Twitter account was showing that he was. I wouldn't dispute that he was performing wherever.
All right. And as he grew, as Mr. Williams grew as an entertainer, do you realize that his public platform, his Twitter account, his Instagram account, it had more and more followers? Do you know that?
Objection relevant to speculation.
It's promotion.
I stand, I'll hold the objection.
You realize that, right?
I do believe his followers were increasing during that time period.
In fact, you know that he has millions of followers on his social media accounts, right?
I do.
And those followers, you know, some of them are fans, right?
Objection to speculation.
I stand the objection.
You read the Twitter posts, right?
Which Twitter post are you referring to?
Any of them. They comment on his songs, on his music, on his fashion, everything he's doing.
I don't recall reading tweets from fans about his fashion or liking his songs or whatever.
You've never seen them.
Not that I can recall. Wouldn't dispute that his fans like his music, but I don't recall reviewing such tweets.
Okay. Let's do this. I would like to play, and I have to get the state's number. But you remember the video with the child being held wiping the nose and holding up a blood gang sign. Remember that?
I do.
Okay, I just don't know the number, but I'd like to play that. Yeah, okay, in 1 second, step back and get my notes.
You may, sir.
Thank you.
It's 55W, you can pull it up.
Your Honor, may Mr. Remote play or put up, and then we're going to talk about a 55W. Either way, whoever. You can do it, yeah, if you have it. Thank you.
You can publish 55W.
It's already in evidence, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for those joining in. We are
Can you
watching the live testimony of Detective Belknap happening right now. I am not in the courtroom right now. However, we are live
I'd
covering
just like
this
to,
from a
talk
remote
with you
location.
about a couple things. This is States 55W, and thank you so much, Madam District Attorney. Do you see in the right-hand lower corner, do you see an object that says mixtape kitchen?
I do.
Okay, and then you see, and some people aren't old enough to know what that is, but and you may not be old enough, but you see that being like a cassette tape that people of my age used to know?
I appreciate that. I'm old enough to remember cassette tapes.
Okay, and for people who don't know, just tell them what a cassette tape is, please.
Cassette tapes were a medium by which you could record audible sound. I used magnets to encode a strip of something inside the plastic cassette. It's probably the best explanation I can give you.
That's fine. And what year is this States Exhibit 55 that we're about to go through? What year is this done?
This was, I believe, September 4th of 2009.
Okay, and if you're wrong, you can check whatever you need to see. We're not trying to get it wrong.
Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you. And Mr. Williams, just for the ladies and gentlemen jury, would have just turned the age of 18 on this date. Is that fair to say?
Yes, and I apologize. This was not the video from 2009. This was from October the 25th of 2014.
2014?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well then he would have been approximately 23, 24.
Let's see this. Yeah, he'd been 23, I believe, at the time. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And you already said to the ladies and gentlemen jury, those two people you see in the center of the screen, you identified them.
I did.
And the gentleman on the left hand, and it might be a little blurry, but can you identify that person?
I believe that's Marcel Mayfield.
All right. Now, we're going to play it, and with the district attorney's permission, we're going to stop it a couple of times, but if there's anything relevant that you say, hey, I have to tell you this, just tell me, we're going to stop it.
Relevant beyond what we talked about previously.
Yeah, anything that you say, hey, this is important. Okay?
Important to, I'm sorry, important to what?
Anything that comes into your mind, say, hey, you skipped something.
I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be difficult. I just don't understand what you're asking me to do.
If you see something that I don't stop the recording, that you say, hey, I'd like to discuss that, just say, I'd like to discuss that section, that's all.
I mean, I've testified to this on direct, so I'm not really sure what I'm willing to discuss at this point about this. I just don't understand what you're asking me to do.
Don't worry about it. We're good. All right, can you play 55W? Thank you. We play it to the end, Your Honor. Investigator. How much experience do you have with sending out to DJs, to followers, an exhibit like States number 55W to promote music?
I've not ever engaged in music promotion.
Do you know how many people in year, and I'm not agreeing with you, by the way, but I understand that And I'm not disagreeing with you. I understand you're saying it's October 2014 or September 2014, I think you said.
Yeah, I believe this video is from October of 2014.
That's fine. And thank you. How many people were trying to get their music listened to by followers?
Objection relevant.
I sustain the objection.
Do you know the competitiveness of promoting a song?
Objection relevant.
I sustain the objection.
Do you know how many other musical artists use trailers, introductions before they go into their song to make people follow them, get interested in it? Do you know that?
I know that it's done. Do I know how many artists do it? Of course not, but it's regularly done.
And going back to Mr. Williams' number 45, where it's Brian Williams, Birdman, with all the tattoos on his head, etc.
I like where he's going with this,
And the happy
and I can
birthday
relate to
letter.
it, and we
Right.
could discuss that
Remember
afterwards.
I do.
That could all be for entertainment purposes, right? The
Objection
tattoos,
speculation.
if,
I sustain the objection.
do you know
Oh, come on,
people
Judge.
who are in entertainment, who get and act a certain way in order to put forward their brand?
Objection speculation.
Come
I sustain
on.
the objection.
Come on, Judge. Now, Judge, come on, Judge. You see music videos, Judge. Come on.
You mentioned the gentleman who performed at the Super Bowl 2022. Remember that person?
I did.
And that person, you said, did a crip walk. Remember that?
I was asked if he did, and yes, he did.
I mean, you know that.
I do.
And he did other gang symbols, I guess, or identifiers, right?
He did.
There you go, Vanderveer.
Including his outfit, right? Do you remember the outfit?
I do.
It was like basically a bandana, a blue bandana, right?
Yes, it was.
And that also can promote his brand, right?
I don't know that it was promoting his brand. I believe that the use of gang identifiers is promoting the gang.
You don't believe that a person who has a brand like Young Thug, who is singing about being fearless, does not promote himself when he is wearing tattoos, gang signs, jewelry, etc. You don't believe that that's all promotion?
Objection speculation revokes that
I
person.
sustain the objection.
Let's talk about,
I see you, DD. What's up?
do you have that one? Do you know what number it is? Or would you mind taking that?
And this is why
Before you,
I say hip hop is on trial.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about we take a
In that,
10-minute comfort break and then we'll see where the day leads us.
okay, so we're taking a break.
We're going to recess about 10 minutes, all right?
We're gonna be in recess, but we're gonna be here talking to you guys.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Our jury's left us. We'll be in recess 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we are in recess. However, for those who are joining in, I see what Attorney Still is doing. He's trying to acquaint the jurors with how video promotions go as it relates to these artists. And it's not a crime to put all these different visuals in a video. And I think that what is happening is Brian's trying to show the jurors these are props. We don't know if these are even real guns. Well, I don't know. The one with the red laser on it, that might be real. However, it's all for marketing and to the marketing to their audience, to Young Thug's audience. And I have to say, I've participated in video shoots where that has happened, where artists wanted to bring out props. As a matter of fact, in Atlanta, at a place called Studio Space Atlanta, they have all these props. They have money props, they have gun props, they have all the visuals needed to produce a music video. I've literally brought in cars from video shoots. I've literally brought in whatever the artist wanted, we would get. If we wanted jewelry in the video, if we wanted prop guns in the video, if we wanted cars, if we wanted models and bottles, these are all the things that were used to produce the video. So what Brian Still is trying to do is show the jurors, hey, this is part of promotion of a video. And if they're using certain lingo and hand signs, it would be consistent with his brand. So with that, I see what Brian Still is doing. I also want to note that for you who've joined in, there was a point in the testimony where Brian Still asked this detective Belknap, who's not being shown today because the judge ruled that, hey, we don't want to, we're not going to allow this particular witness to be shown. And I think the district attorney said because of a special assignment he's working on. But my issue is he's been shown already. He's not someone who the public doesn't know who he is. As you can see, just based on the thumbnail of this video, of this live. So what he's saying is, what Belknap testified to is that he's not fully aware that Young Thug is a fashion icon and or influencer. I think that's a little, I'm questioning his truthfulness to that because he is someone who's been investigating YSL. And he's been a detective since 2000 and I want to say he's at 2004, maybe 2009, 2004, but we'll go back to that. But for him to say he doesn't even know that Young Thug is considered a fashion icon or an influencer, but you're looking at certain clothes he's wearing, but you don't know what the temperature is on the internet and through his various platforms that he is one of the biggest rap artists in the game, 2009. So that tells me that he is a witness for sure for the prosecution, and he may have an interest in making sure he's testifying to the prosecution's beat. One, he's been put out as an expert. Now, if he bundles his testimony as an expert for this state, chances are he's not going to be called again to be an expert, or his chances of being called in other jurisdictions, other court cases, federal, state, whatever the case is, if he's not coming across as someone that is a real true gang expert, then why use him? So he does have an incentive to parrot or to bolster the prosecution's case. And I just want people to understand that as this case moves along, the direct examination is not the finality to any testimony because you have cross, you have redirect, and then you have a summation. The summation is not evidence. However, the testimony that is being put forth can be challenged. So this is all we're trying to say. Hey, don't run with. And I also said that during the beginning of his testimony that maybe the defense should have, when he was giving his credentials and talking about all the things that he does as a gang expert, maybe the defense should have cross-examined him then. But I get it right now because now what they're doing is showing that he may not be the expert that he professes to be, based on him not even doing uh, certain things that you would do as someone looking into crimes that allegedly involves rappers. What else I noticed is that when asked about his how many times he's been to a recording studio, he said a handful of times. Brian Still said, "Well, let's go into how many times exactly have you been to the studio? 2 or 3 times." I would want to go because it's only 2 or 3 times. I would ask, what studios did you go to? Because at 2 or 3 times, you got to know something about recording studios. You got to know something. Were you in the sessions? Did you visit the studio? We know some of the most popular studios in Atlanta was it is Patchwork, but then they also makeshift studios. But my question is, if you are really an expert, wouldn't you want to know why artists are in these controlled environments, studio sessions, and what are they talking about, and why are they talking about it? Have you actually sat down and watched, for example, an artist write his lyrics and then also say it in the booth? So these are the things that I'm looking at his testimony with a, I won't say side eye yet, but yes, a side eye. Because I've been in more studio sessions in a week than he's been in his entire career. And that's troubling when you have a detective who's giving testimony that can ultimately lead to someone getting sentenced for a crime. So I don't know. When I hear experts talking about hip hop and the culture, I want to really know, what have you done to support your expertise in this business? I personally have directed music videos, executive produced music videos, worked with artists in the studio and different components, even going down to looking at split sheets. If anyone know about split sheets, it's another part of the business of the music. So I want to make sure, as I talk to you guys today, that we are getting something that we can really sink our teeth into as it relates to this witness. So I do see some comments here. I was trying to bring on one of the attorneys, and she might join me in a minute, but this is some of the things that I look at. And remember, these are lay people listening to testimony from a quote unquote expert witness. These are lay people, the jurors, listening to testimony. And I do appreciate what Brian Still is doing as he outlines to the juror, to this witness, or discusses to this witness, that what you've seen is with some of the prosecution's exhibits. For example, Brian Birdman Williams with his stars. Birdman had those stars since I've known him for a long time. And I've actually interviewed him. And I've actually got pictures of, I could put some exhibits up, but I didn't think I had to. But I have pictures of in the studio with Birdman and his artists. So I'm just wondering how much time has actually been spent in understanding this culture, because you're giving testimony about what you believe to be gang affiliations, but belonging to a gang is not a crime. And having hand signals and signs and so forth is not a crime. So we have to be very careful as we listen to testimony and making sure that there's something that we can really sink our teeth into. Okay, so I want to share some. I want to bring a comment up, and then this is important. This is important, and this is something that hopefully the prosecutors, I mean the defense, is going to hone in on. You should be able to discuss. And while artists don't really like to talk about who, especially hip hop artists, if they had a ghostwriter or if they wrote it themselves, that's important, because if someone wrote something because they thought it was catchy and they were hired to be a writer for the project, you can't really make the artist who's actually performing it uh, accountable because he's just part of a bigger picture. No different than you have comedians that have writers, you have actors who read scripts that they didn't write the script. Sometimes they ad lib, but that's not the same as someone that is actually creating the content. We don't know that. So there are many variables that we have to consider when we look at testimony from quote unquote an expert witness. Well, no. Hold on. He's a gang expert, but he's a gang expert that should be able to articulate that he has at least studied the movements of this particular artist or artists that are part of music. Because he is a gang expert, allegedly. I won't say allegedly because the judge ruled he's a gang expert. But he's also someone talking about an artist of renowned fame, and he can't really say if this that Doug is a studio gangster or a real gangster. He can't really say that. He can't really testify to that. So why would you not know what is being done in the studio? Maybe for just to brand him and build his career. So you don't you can be both. You can be a gang expert that has an understanding of the music business, so you can better be an expert in your profession and say, well, this is not. And he also testified, this is not part of the music business. This is he's doing alleged crimes, acts of crimes in his music. But you can't really prove that because it's art form. So he can't really say to that. So someone said, as a detective, would you want to be no, you can be an undercover. You can be, come on now. Detectives don't always wear uniforms. Like, for example, he may be on undercover assignment right now in a studio. But I think that would be dangerous at this point because people know who he is. But I hear what you're saying. But if you're really trying to investigate gang activity, being in the studio may be one of the places that you might have to go into undercover to see if there's really gang activity happening. Gang activity, illegal, not gang activity, but illegal gang activity, either selling drugs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It could be a bunch of things. So I get where you're going with that, but yeah, sometimes you got to get down in it, down and dirty, get in the mud, allegedly. And I asked this question too. I mean, if you're arresting, if you're going to start, are you going to start arresting co-writers? Are you going to arrest the executive of the music label? Where do we draw the line at here? Where do we really draw the line at here? As in someone that's worked also in the artisan repertoire or A&R, I know that there's certain things that you have to do to promote the artist. There's certain things that you have to do for shock value. And that is not necessarily something that you would do in real life, but it happens even on YouTube. People do things for shock value. But is it what they really about? How do you know? Do you really know? We're not going to talk about Madam DA, Fonnie Wills. We're not doing that. We're not talking about it right now. We've discussed her, and she has her day in court like everyone else. That allegations, not everyone else. Some people don't even never get a day in court, but she has a day February 15th, where she'll appear in front of Judge McAfee in the court. If let's see precludes, well, no, she has to be there, but it's happening February 15th in Fulton County, Georgia. Yes. Wait a minute, hold on. I don't know about that. We all perform. We walk in the hospital, nursing home. They pretend they're working. Oh, okay. Well, I hope they're attending to the elderly. I hope they're not doing too much performative stuff because that means your loved ones is not being protected. So we are going to be in recess. You guys, I will be back once the court is back in session. But I want you guys to just uh, have your questions ready so when we can ask, hopefully answer them when the we have another break or during the testimony. Thank you. I'm taking a comfort break like Judge Glanville. This is my first.
Be seated again. Are you ready, Christina? All right, councils, given the hour is like 5:20, I think we probably should stop for the day. We'll just reconvene tomorrow. Tomorrow will be our start 1 o'clock start time, so I'll have everybody come for 12:30, all right? Okay, all right, so I'm gonna call our jurors in and we'll just officially just dismiss everybody for the evening. Okay, all right, so with that, some of our jurors, Sergeant Ingram.
I guess we're going home early. Some of us made it home already. All rise.
Sorry, I made a mess of this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. All right, thank you, Sergeant Ingram. Ladies and gentlemen, jury, if you probably noticed, the length of the day has we have exhausted it. It's about 5:20. So I think from consulting our advocates, and just I'm looking at you. This might be time for us to call.
Hey,
it
Judge, what is
today.
happening?
We'll start tomorrow. Okay. Remember that tomorrow is our one of our half days. So I'm going to need you all to report for 12:30 for an anticipated 1 o'clock start time. And then we're going to work until probably about the same time tomorrow. And to just refresh your recollection again, Friday we're out due to several folks and prior existing obligations, and then we'll start back up on Monday, okay? Monday the 12th. All right.
The judge might have golf on Friday. I don't know. We'll see.
I'll go ahead and excuse you, sir. We'll see you tomorrow at 12:30. If you'd be so kind not to discuss testimony anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
See, our camera guy's rushing to get out the courtroom. I don't know what the heck he's doing. The camera guy today is
All
rushing.
right, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, come on, camera
anyone
guy.
who
What are you
wishes to
doing?
Inquire with me.
He ready to run out the courtroom.
Okay, how's the headquarters back there? Good? Okay, all right.
Judge is feeding the jurors as well, so that's a good
Ladies
thing.
and gentlemen, let's go through our customary nightly ad nauseam admonitions. Please don't discuss anything that you have heard in the four walls of this courtroom with any third parties, to include loved ones or interested others. If anybody should try and approach you about what you have heard or considered so far, of course, you would need to know Sergeant Ingram or myself know immediately. Do not do any extra research. The only thing you can consider, as you all know, is anything that's presented within the four walls of this courtroom. Are you allowed to, now that you've heard some witnesses, to recap their testimonies? You're waiting for us back there? How about as you're coming in the morning, Wednesdays and Tuesdays? What do you think about such and such? No, you're not allowed to do that. That's correct. Are you allowed to listen to the media or any other recounts of maybe things that they're discussed or said about this trial? No, you're not allowed to do that, because the only thing you can consider is what's presented in the four walls of this courtroom, okay? All right. Remember to leave your notepads in the basket. Take another juror sticker. Again, as I close, as I do with you every evening on behalf of our advocates and those assembled, thank you for your patience that you continue to give us, and will continue to give us in the resolution of this matter. Unless you have any other inquiry of me, ladies and gentlemen, anything? All right, going once, twice, three times. All right. So tomorrow we will see you for 12:30, and once all of you have been accounted for, we'll go ahead and get started as close to 1 o'clock as we possibly can. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a nice evening. And with that, all rise.
I'm not going to stand up, respectfully.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Our jury has left us. All right, counsels, anything I need to be made aware of, or anything I need to take up before I release you for the evening?
Nothing to be made aware about. The state does have a question as to Thursday. I believe previously you may have said that we were starting the afternoon on Thursday, and we wanted to know if the court was inclined to confirm or deny that assertion.
She did say he just said that. Well, hold on a second.
No, Thursday is a full day.
Thursday's a full day. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Friday is the day we're not in. Wednesday is the day tomorrow we're taking half a day.
Right.
Thank you,
Okay,
Your Honor.
all right? Anybody else?
And she might have had a nail
Okay.
appointment.
Folks, unless there's anything else, I will recess you all for the evening. I'll see you all tomorrow for around 12:30 for an anticipated 1 o'clock start time. And we'll see where the day leads us at that point in time. All right, so we're in recess.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please bring your electronic devices up, please.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in recess. The judge has dismissed the jurors for today, as well as everyone else. So, what do you think? Do you think the detective cross-examination went for the benefit of the prosecution or defense? Who do you think did better, in the direct or the cross-examination? Let us know. Leave a comment. We want to just kind of see whether or not the defensive strategy is working for the jurors. I like the cross. I like the cross. Some have said they want to see Keith Adams do the cross, but if because they're co-counsel, Still and Adams are co-counsel. If Still starts the cross, Adams is not going to. If he does the cross, Adams is not going to do the cross with this particular witness. Um, I don't know what their strategy is on determining who does cross. Uh, I think that I would like to know that at some point after the trial, what strategy went into determining who would cross what witness and why. That's something I won't ask it right now because I don't want to do anything to to insult anyone in particular or even make people think there's something have any biases towards either one because some people have a bias towards who's doing the cross for the defense. Yeah, I think let me see if I can get Ike over here. Let's see if I can get her over here. Let me see if I can get Ike over here. I think she's in a car because I just got a message, but I sent her a message. Yeah, we wanted Ike early. I think Ike, she might she might come over. We'll see. I think no, she might went in a car. She might be in a car because she's getting one of these. I'm getting one of these focus messages, but we can talk about this later on. Trial does this reconvene until tomorrow at 1:30, maybe 2 o'clock, half a day. But this is interesting. Detective Belknap's testimony uh, on direct is far different than his demeanor and response on cross. I think many people are realizing that as well. Um, he's uncomfortable with talking about certain things um, during cross, and I'm just wondering why is that? Because he's giving we could have to assume that he's giving truthful testimony, but I just think that it appears that he's being more reserved in his response to the defense. And hopefully others can see that because that's what I see. He said, D, you French? Oh, he said, well, okay, I'm sorry, D. I think he said, we. Well, we'll go live. We'll definitely, I'll go live with at some point. I think he said, excuse me, I apologize. Yeah, yes. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Who saw the exchange of Judge Glanville and Brian Still? When Brian Still was asking or asking Detective Belknap or telling Detective Belknap that he would be showing him some exhibits if the judge allows him to, the judge said, "Wait a minute, Mr. Still, please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make me look bad in front of the jurors. Don't do." He didn't say that, but he wasn't happy about that, and I think that that's going to be a hopefully you don't have to Mr. Still have to pay for that later on down the road. But I see what Mr. Still is doing. He's trying to signal to the jurors that the judge hasn't really been ruling favorably to the defense throughout this trial. And I get what he's trying to do. And I think the jurors get it as well. He said a few things that I said, okay, he's trying to connect with the jurors with this. But I mean, you got to figure at the end of the day, it's the jurors who is going to have to make the decision as to the guilt and innocence of Young Thug and his co-defendants. I'm not going as far as saying the judge is disrespectful. The judge is just um, sees fit to rule more favorably to the prosecution. And like he said, he's the referee. He can do this. I didn't say he, he said it. He's the referee. He can do this. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate you coming in. This was just this is actually the first time I've ever did a live stream with live testimony happening. I think I want to start doing more of this. Hopefully, you guys show me that you appreciate this form of reporting. I may be doing it from the courthouse. Tomorrow, I'll probably do it from the courthouse, so I might have to bring a setup there so we can kind of just analyze what is happening in real time. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. Make sure you are sharing, and supporting the platform. You know how to support the platform. Just do what you've been doing, but do it a little harder. How about that?